Antwerp with, you guessed it, brew review. Now, you may have noticed that I am at this point in my hobby slash career slash job, whatever, that many people, friends and the likes, tend to bring me beers from their vacations. I tend to do the same, but a few weeks ago, I had a friend who brought me this beer, and honestly, I thought this was a run-of-the-mill home brand supermarket little kind of deal, because I didn't know this beer and I didn't know any better. Apparently, this is Pietra, a Corsican beer. So this friend of mine went hiking through Corsica, and apparently this was the top shelf local beer. It says here as well, Biera Corsa or Bière Corse. Bière Ambré, it is an Ambré. And this is the beer that started that brewery. These days they have several beers, and they also brew whatever you like, if you want them to and if you pay them to. But nonetheless, they have their own range as well, and this is their core beer, their very first one that started it all. Now, what is so special about this beer, except for being from Corsica? It's brewed with chestnuts. It says here right in the ingredients as well. So it is known as the chestnut beer. But here in the ingredients list, it says water, barley malt, chestnut flour, hops, and yeast. After hearing that story and hearing about the chestnuts, I did get intrigued. And honestly, I haven't tried it before, but I am so curious. Bira acomodata chu a castaña. Apparently, it's also popular in Catalonia, and I didn't know that. I have no idea why. Let's see. As you might have guessed from what I said earlier, I'm not a fan of the can. This is a very, in my humble opinion, a very tacky, simple, generic can. So yeah, can't say much about that. The only detail that I do like is that it does have those typical white Corsican houses on the hillside on it. Another thing that surprised me in this beer was that apparently it won some gold medals at the World Beer Awards in 2024, and it has won a silver medal in France as well. But of course, medals don't say everything. So let's let the beer speak for us. First off, beautiful. I know it says Ambré, but as we have already established in previous videos of Ambré beers, there's a difference between an Ambré in France and an Antwerp beer as we know it. But nonetheless, this looks like it did use some toasted malts, some nice caramelized malts, very beautiful. I'd say dark gold, maybe even a bit coppery, a bit orangey, but very nice. And the foam, nice and thick, very present. There's a lot of it, and it is yellowish. So not even just off-white or beige, it is actually yellowish. A lot of carbonation. Looks very nice and bubbly. Now, it is worth mentioning that this is a lager, by the way, so not top fermented. This is a low fermenting beer. Ooh. And even though I have a bit of a cold, my nose is a little bit plugged. Sorry for the TMI, but I still get a lot of fragrance from this beer. Very classic, malty, hoppy, but typical noble bitter hops. Also quite, I'd say, a bit yeasty, which is not typical for this style or for lagers in general. Toasty, malty, a bit sweet. I'm gonna say some dark brown sugar or some caramel from the malts probably. And a very tiny hint nutty. Now that might be from the chestnuts or from the malts. We will see later. But without further ado, I'm so curious. I really want to taste these things. Cheers. Okay, interesting. First off, initial flavor, typical lager, but the good kind. A bit malty, a bit caramelly, a bit sweet, but emphasis on a bit there. So it's actually more of a nuance. It's more of a detail. It's more of a by flavor, because the very first thing that you taste is the hops. Lovely, beautiful use of hops. I wish I knew which one they've used. But yeah, very nice. That bitterness and these hops go hand in hand with this malty sweet main flavor. And right after that, you get this nutty flavor that is most definitely the chestnuts. I find it an interesting choice to use chestnut flour, because flour is notoriously hard to filter out of your beer. But maybe they had this very rough milled chestnut flour. I don't know. Oh, and the pattern repeats. So effectively, every sip is gonna be nice, hoppy, bitter, fighting with that maltiness. And as soon as we swallow and we get that retro nasal with that reflex, chestnut all the way. That is pretty nice. The interesting thing is that despite having used a lot of hop, it being very bitter, it's still very much balanced. And that is another thing that I actually didn't expect for this beer. So I am genuinely pleasantly surprised. With your nose all up in that glass, that is so much chestnut and hop at the same time. I think this might be my very first chestnut beer ever. What chance do you guys think this has of being the last one as well? But all jokes aside, this after flavor is also quite interesting, because it's basically just like a regular lager, but with that extra touch. And if I wouldn't know that this had chestnut in it, from the after flavor, I would never be able to tell. Okay, time to score this thing. I think I'm going for an even 3.5, because as you guys know, that is my golden standard for a decent quality beer. Why not more? Well, it is maybe just not my cup of tea. I very much like it. I maybe would order a second one, but this would never be my go-to beer. Why not lower? Well, because as said, this is an interesting quality beer. So yeah, 3.5 it is. Okay, as usual, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to support this channel, leave a comment, leave a like, share a video, or visit my Patreon page. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.